Hey guys, Punch here. I want to show you guys some footage of a game I had playing some solo queue PvP in Atlas Reactor. What I want to show in this video is more along the lines of some team comp meta that I've seen. And I say meta because I've been seeing it quite a lot. This game was a little bit different though. When playing in Atlas Reactor, a lot of the people that I've been playing against have gone 2 Frontliners and 2 Firepower. Is this a bad thing? Not necessarily, but you don't have a support there to heal you or shield you. So it kind of begs the question of if it's really worth it or not. In this game in particular as well, we face against Asana, Pup, Rask, and Garrison. And that's three Frontliners and 1 Firepower on their team. However, on our team, we have 3 Firepower, which is Nyx, Blackburn, and myself as Zuki, and we have support, Quark. Quark is very crucial, especially when playing Atlas Reactor, especially if you have a good Quark. With Quark on our team, what he can do is he can heal us. He can keep us alive a lot longer than what they would normally have because they don't really have heals. Sure, they have catalysts that can probably give them second wind will probably give them 15 health per turn. You could also probably say that they might be able to get a turtle tech for proper shielding, but they don't have a longer sustain in game. So for us, that's better. That's a better situation than what they have. The thing is, though, is that when I see this game, it still was pretty difficult to say that we were going to be guaranteed a win because Asana and Rask have dashes, and those dashes they don't do a crap ton of damage, but it does a pretty good amount, like a substantial amount, like 20 to 25 damage. With Asana's dash ability, that is the bouncing off the walls and does 25 damage or something like that, or 20, I'm not quite sure on the average. Rask also has his dash, so where he dashes towards people through, I think he can go through terrain, I'm not quite sure. That might just be something I've seen before with a mod. But he also has his ultimate, which is a passive, so if he uses his dash, he could use his ultimate on active and do more damage that way. Garrison is also a decent frontliner to have with his missiles that do 12 damage on top of his basic attack that he would normally do, whether it be his hand cannon or his punch. His ultimate would also be a decent thing as well with it. But still, like I said, it's probably a one-sided fight for us, and we do quite well in this game as well. Firepower characters are made for doing damage. They're DPS characters. They do a crap ton of damage. And when you have Nyx, who does high damage from far away, and then you have Blackburn that does pretty substantial amount of damage in a area of effect situation where they're all grouped together, or they're pretty much close enough to where you could do damage. It's easier to get all their life points down, as well as Zuki, for instance. My mod for her basic ability gets an additional 4 damage on her blast radius, not the initial detonation of her rocket. So when I hit somebody, instead of doing 22 damage, I do 26 damage. The initial blast, if I hit somebody with that, would be 32 instead of 28. So it's still pretty good damage nonetheless. So what the game plan is for this match, especially, is that if we're going up against frontliners, what do you normally do? Do you only go after one specific person and just melt him down to oblivion to where he can't really do much? That would be what I like to call tunnel vision, and tunnel vision is not really a good thing. When somebody goes in tunnel vision, they go after somebody with really low health, and that gives them the opportunity to kite those players into a false sense of security to go and be ganked by their teammates. So what we like to do, or what I like to do personally, is that we like to get everybody on their team low on health. So we do area of effect attacks. My basic attack, for example, that does shrapnel in an area, pretty wide area of effect. Or a sticky bomb that does it in a cone, still area of effect. Even my jump, or my dash, my rocket jump, still is an area of effect, but it's not as much damage as I said, but I still dash away. Blackburn's the same way. He has his proximity bomb, or proximity grenade, I mean, and then he has his basic attack that does 20 damage. His the fan the cone shape, to which they could still do direct damage, but it's 34 damage to 20. But he could also obviously aid in lessening their health, making them more vulnerable to attacks. What does this do for us? Well, it helps us in killing them more efficiently, especially when using our ultimates. Now, Blackburn used his ultimate, but he killed Garrison with it. Now, that's a good thing, because we're up to 1. What I'm going to do here, though, is that I'm going to use my ultimate afterwards, because they're low enough. And what I do with my ultimates, especially Zuki and Nyx, is that I wait until the last second. And this is better off for many players, such as myself, because if they're low enough and you know for a fact they do not have a dash, a teleport, or a dash, then use your ultimate, because that's the grand opportunity to do it. Even if they're not, like, close to death, it's still good to use it regardless, because then they'll be pressured into having to waste those abilities and catalysts in order to stay alive. So right now we're 4-2. So that's better for us. The game is pretty much going as according to plan, and we're going to seemingly win the game. Things can happen, though. The problem with it in late game is that though we're up 4-2, they could still come back and beat us 5-4. Because myself included, with Blackburn, also low in health, is that they can come find us, kill us, gank one person, and then the game would be over. So what do I do as Zuki is that because I still have my dash up, and I still have my teleportation, I do shoot and scoot, just like I do with Nyx. But with Nyx, I kind of like to keep out of sight, and because I have a mod on him called Spotter, I have additional range for his basic headshot ability. So I like to shoot far range. Zuki, I like to do mid-range. I don't like to do close quarters unless I have to. But still, I do the area of effect to where I try to get as much damage as I can from multiple different freelancers. So I shoot, I go to a different location, and then I shoot again, I go to a different location. And if I know that I'm in deep shit, then I'll use a dash ability and get away. Now, being in these invisible spaces are a big help as well, because they can't really know exactly where you're at. There is an arrow when you see the enemy freelancer, like, let's say, for example, Pup, like as you've seen there before he actually became visible after I used Sticky Grenade, that it shows the last place they were spotted. That doesn't necessarily mean they were there. They could be somewhere farther away. And if you're sitting in an invisible spot and they shoot at that spot and you're not there, then that might have just saved your life. So, right here, I know I'm pretty much in trouble, so that I'm going to have to jump away. And just because, for fun, I taunt. And taunting's pretty nice. You can only do 2 taunts per game, though. That's why I only use them for, like, for guaranteed or just for the hell of it type of situations. My ultimate is one of them. I always stick with my ultimate just because it's obviously a nice thing to have before killing somebody. And I'm not quite sure who we kill. I think we kill Asana this one. We do win the game, which is, as I said, pretty surprising, but still, they didn't have a support. They had Pup. Pup in itself is a good character, but it only works with other team comps. Like, people have gone with Pup and Asana, Aurora, and then Lockwood, or vice versa, something else. Like I said, this game wasn't that big of a deal when it came down to the team composition that they had, they kind of messed up, probably going too far aggressive. So I guess you could really say it wasn't a great plan, but still something that people should kind of learn from, because this is still an early game, and many of us are still trying to learn the basics and the gameplay mechanics of it. So Quark's gonna heal us, and his ultimate seriously helps a crap ton. Though Pup dashes away, Asana's still primary target, and then we kill her and the game's over, pretty much. I think I kill her, I'm pretty sure. No, Quark kills her. Yep, and that's it. Hope you liked the video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next Atlas Reactor Spotlight.